So in the past, you've done quite a few projects, but recently this was your first time being very physical and having to do a lot of physical stunt work.
Yeah.
How was that?
So, let's say it this way. When I finally figured out what all of this was, I Googled my character and I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got a 10-pack. There's no 10-pack there. And if there is, it's hiding behind the plastic and, like, at least at that stage. And I was a lot skinnier then too. So I think that same week, I just started exercising nonstop. So that was just like my basic, like, mentally going, I've got to look a certain way. I've got to do that now. And then when, prior to shooting everything, I came down to Cape Town and I trained I went straight into with the stunt team, and they trained me how to use swords. I started with cutlasses, and then we moved on to knife fights, and then obviously broadsword. So my stuntman is Sean Verth, who's a very good friend of mine, and I'd love for him to be my stunt guy for everything I do now, because him and I get along so well, and we have the same ideas and views. But he trained me and trained me and trained me, and he was there every step of the way. And then the coolest part was they had flown in a Japanese swords master, Koji Kawamoto, and he then trained me on how to do all these various things, because every weapon has a different style of doing them, but then how it was originally shown in the anime, that's a certain way of doing it, and I essentially had to make it look like everything was very lightweight and quick and fast. And so I was training boxing, I did a bit of breakdancing, obviously just your basic gym, and then most of the time it was swords fighting, and that was about 4 to 5 hours a day, every day. And when I would train with Koji, he'd be super fast, and he would like get my knuckles with the swords, and I would come home with like bruises and blood, and it was wonderful. And then I obviously got to do some work with Mackenzie. Him and I trained together, and he's a really great guy. Him and I got along really well. We had a lot of laughs, but yeah.
All right.
One thing I forgot. So I was sent home prior to coming back to shoot, and I sneakily took measurements of a very big broadsword that we were training with, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't just spend those couple of months doing that and then doing nothing for the rest of that. So I made my own version of it, a very terrible version of it, so that I could continue training every day to make it look as good as it could be, because I knew I knew especially a very specific scene was important, so I wanted to make sure I got that right.
So in terms of using these imposingly massive props during action scenes, did you find it heavy, and just very large to swing around? Did you have difficulty using it?
At first, yeah, it was incredibly difficult. Like, can you imagine holding I don't know how big the final one was, but I mean, bigger than, it's as tall as me. Can you imagine holding that out with one hand and making it not like shake? I couldn't lift it the first time I got it, so I had to train to make it not heavy. So I got to that point where it wasn't actually heavy. There's a lot of it is momentum based, which was separate training from what we've seen me do. But yeah, so it started out heavy, but in the end it was pretty lightweight. I could hurt someone with that now. I wouldn't, but I could.
That's terrifying.
But I won't. Will I?
So apart from Mackenzie, the rest of the cast, did you ever get to meet them, and how were they on set?
Yeah, so I spent quite a bit of time with Taz Skyler and Jacob Romero. We were pretty much every day at the same time in the gym doing our various different things, and then we'd hang out a bit and have laughs and stuff like that. So I spent a lot of time with them. I actually spoke to Taz the other day for some advice. He's an incredible dude. And then I only got to meet Inaki and Emily on set. And Emily is wonderful. She's literally one of my favorite people ever, and I'm such a big fan of her. So that. And Inaki is what you see is what you get. He is wild, and I love it. He gives energy. He doesn't take energy away. I know a lot of people that steal energy, and he's just constantly giving you energy. My favorite part about him was his mom was always there with a massive picnic basket full of sweets and chips. Just sit there and just eat all the food the whole time. It was wonderful. Yeah, that was my experience with them. They're really great people, and I hope the rest of the world gets to experience them the way I did, because they're phenomenal.
Excellent. And just as the last question, your road going forward, what's next for you? Are you going to do more films now, more TV shows, a bit of both?
You know, I'm very happy to do both. I don't think I have a preference now. I like the series because I feel like there's more time for character development. And you get to meet a lot more people in series because you know, every episode's got people different and stuff like that. So I really enjoy that, and seeing what other actors can bring to the table. I love shooting a movie, but I think I want to, like I said, I want to do very character-driven stuff. I'd love to continue doing character-driven stuff. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. I know I've got a TV series coming out, I think in December. The production hasn't given me much comms on this, but it's a very cool show about Mickey Pistorius, who's the I should know this, I did the show. She introduced criminal profiling to South Africa and caught a whole bunch of serial killers in the 90s. It's an incredible story. So I know that's coming out, and that's what I'm doing next. I also have another movie, but that's definitely going on circuit to like festivals and stuff. It's super noir, like noir? That's the wrong word. What's it like when it's weird? Indie? When it's weird. Such a good actor. I'm actually just a dum-dum. But yeah, so I'm super excited to see what comes next in my career. I hope I get to do this for a long time because I really, really enjoy doing it. And yeah, I hope I get to make my wife and my kids very happy and proud. So
I think your career is about to really explode, and fingers crossed.
If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it's cool.
All right, and thank you very much for coming on to have a chat with us.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. What a pleasure. Shout out to the Wardians. I'm Stephen John Ward, and you're watching Glitched.